Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, got a report from Laura Loomer. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, that there was some kind of medical issue on Air Force One, and that the press was blocked. And then there were reports coming out that that was false. And I had to check everything I could check and see what I could see before I could go live. And I said, well, heck, I might as well go live. And I have a third party going to send me updates as they come in, and we'll discuss it. But part of my thumbnail title is patterns of deceit. And, you know, it's a vicious and cruel game they play with information, disinformation, and misinformation. So I think Laura Loomer wouldn't report something without hearing it from someone she trusts. But then again, it may turn out to be that she found out that the person she trusts is not trustworthy, or maybe she got good information and the people that are, air quotes, debunking it are the ones we can't trust. But as we know, they lie. We wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for their lies. We're living in a world of lies. 81 million. Don't you know? But anyway, did you see the debate? What do you think? I think he fell on his face. I think it was heavily edited. They played with the time of showing the debate. People are not stupid. They're going to see right through it. And Trump has already demanded to see the entire interview. I mean, we're talking about our national security, are we not? How you doing, Shine Dixie? I before ye, except to see. What, did I misspell something? Probably did. I wasn't good at ciphering in school. Diane, how you doing? Debbie, nice to see you. People were asking about you last night, Diane. I thought you was with us. I didn't know. Hi, Kim. Roland. That was fake news about an episode. That's what they say. That's what they say, Roland. They say it's fake news, but I checked Laura Loomer's Truth Social page. There was no mention of it. I got some screenshots. I think Monica Crowley and Laura Loomer. I'll get pull them up in a minute. Wanda, how you doing? Sherry, Angela, Roberto, Melinda, MS Motorsports. Hi, Debbie. We get two, sometimes three Debbies in. You never know. And sometimes we get multiple Kims. But only one Damon, right? I don't know. We might get an extra Damon tonight. Ha ha ha. Television shows. And let's see who else is here. Wanda's here. Gloria's here. Ronald's here. Yvonne. Everybody's showing up. So let me pull this one. So if I get any more updates on Joe, since I'm not doing a picture show, I can receive updates, but I don't like updates when I'm doing a picture show because it interferes with my picture. So let's see. Medical emergency. Biden fail. Trump wants it all. Patterns of deceit. So in the thumbnail, I put a picture of Joe, and he said Trump was shouting at him. Did you all catch that? He was shouting at me. And George, we don't know what kind of role little Slopanopoulos has to play. But did you notice that Slopanopoulos is the one that brought up convicted felon? Biden didn't even say that. Even after Slopanopoulos said it, Biden didn't say it. That's odd, don't you think? And as most of us know, Trump isn't not a convicted felon because the trial has not been, for lack of a better term, air quotes, certified by the judge and signed off on and the sentencing gone through. So he's not a convicted felon. But I thought, well, George, aren't you dealing with a $15 million lawsuit right now for calling repeatedly Mr. Trump the hard R word, as in rapist. Yeah, we know. So I don't know, George, were you trying to bait Joe into saying something and Joe was too smart not to say it? No, I don't think that's the case. I think Joe wasn't prepped to say that, or he would have. Let's see. Did you all, hi, Mike. Ravens Wings, how you doing? Sandy, nice to see you. Yeah, it was cut and edited heavily. Hi, Jason. They said the plane landed in Delaware and Joe was all right. Laura Loomer said that he was not seen in Delaware. You know, they could have put him in a, Glad garbage bag, and I don't know. So did you all see him give a mini interview? I got a screen grab of that in my studio. A mini interview on the tarmac. He came walking up to the press all by himself. I was like, oh, he doesn't have his usual, minders right there with him. They probably had a shock collar around his ankle or something, and earbuds and everything else. And I have to listen to it again, but I tell you what, it sounded the exact same questions, not every single one of them, but main talking points were pretty much the same on the tarmac prior to his interview on CNN, were pretty much the same as what George Stephanopoulos was asking him. And that little rally he gave, where was he? In Wilmington, I believe. I'm not sure. No, he was up in Wisconsin. That's right. That little rally he gave, he was repeating the same things that he was saying to George Stephanopoulos. As many issues that are going on, it seemed like they had his brain tuned in on 6 or 7 talking points that he could somehow cogently respond to. Because in all 3 scenarios, he was bringing up the exact same things. So I understood it to be aired at 8 to 9. An hour-long interview, of course, with commercials. But so I'm watching the ABC live feed on Utizzle, and what comes up? 8 o'clock. Oh, what's going on? A bunch of stories, and oh yeah, we're gonna have the interview aired at 8:30. Is showing up in the chats. They don't say it on the CNN live feed that they're going to show it at 8:30. What an oddball time. So I'm reading the chats and watching ABC. Of course, they get some fluff story about cork trees. Cork trees are saving all this carbon. You know how cork trees are so important to fight global warming. That damn hoax. But hey, you idiots, trees breathe carbon. Okay, we've been through that. And they exhale, air quotes, exhale oxygen. You learn that in 7th grade, 6th grade. But anyway, cork trees are all special now. But then people in chat started saying interviews at 8:30, interviews at 8:30. And I said, that is weird. So I said, well, I'm going to be here 8:30 to 9:30. That's going to be tough. I don't think I'll be able to go up tonight. Let's see how this interview goes. So I sit there and torture myself, keeping an eye on ABC. And Joe comes on. And I will say Stephanopoulos mildly confronted him. He did kind of corral him a few times. Before I get into that, I'm going to point out this was in toto around 23 minutes. What happened to the hour minus some commercials? And why the delay from 8 to 8:30? Well, some people in the chats were, you know how they are, conspiracy theorists and stuff. They were saying it was delayed so they could finish editing, okay, finish taking stuff out of there. And maybe it was an hour time he spent with him. And by the time they got rid of trash paling, all the stuff that would make Biden look bad, all the stuff out of there, they salvaged maybe 50%. And it ended weird and abruptly. Did you notice that, folks? It was on at 8:30 television shows, not 8. It came on at 8:30. Because I sat and watched ABC News live feed from 7:45 all the way down to 8:30 when they introduced the interview, and it was over, I think, by 8:55 with commercials. So I don't know how much actual time, if I gave a damn, I would time it between the commercials and see how much interview time they actually aired. It was not much over 20 minutes of a touted hour-long interview. Yeah, I was wondering, Diane, who had diaper duty. I'm just looking at chats. Well, one thing he said was, he said a number of times, if God Almighty wants him out. And I thought to myself, wow, I was thinking of that parliamentarian that was condemning Israel and calling for it to be wiped off the map and everything else. And he's right there, 2 steps from podium, he corked off, fell flat. I still got that video. So then I heard about the ambulance situation and the medical emergency and the press pool being kept away. So I had to try to find out. And that's another thing Jason brings up. They said hundreds showed up. Biden actually said, look at my crowds, man. Look at my crowds. Who gets crowds like me? And Stephanopoulos was like, I don't know if I would go there. Trump brings pretty big crowds. Is he that far gone? He doesn't realize Trump has brought as many as 110,000 people, 25,000, 50,000. Is he that far gone? Because he said it with a straight face. And for Joe, that may have been a big deal for hundreds, as in maybe 2.5 hundreds. I don't know. So I have seen so many different reports. Yeah, about Obama, because of what we were discussing last night. Isn't that funny how I was saying that certain qualifications for the vice president are not there that are required for the president, as in Henry Kissinger being acting VP back in the day in the 70s. When Spiro Agnew resigned, up until Gerald Ford was appointed by the Senate. Excuse me while I was sipping my coffee. So sure enough, I'm telling you, they got to be listening to me, because Newsmax and a couple of other places put up about Obama. There is a loophole that may permit Barack Obama to be vice president and soothe the worries of the donor class, all this crap. Yeah. I said to myself, go for it. You know why I said that? Boomerang. Boomerang. Because you're not going to beat Trump. And then come 2028, we'll just have Trump as VP. You know, whoever gets to be president with Trump as their VP from 2028 to 2032, Trump can be out on the golf course. He can enjoy his life. And the president can say, listen, you don't want me to make the real big guy mad. Okay? He's golfing right now. You don't want to be reasonable with his trade deal, or you don't want to put away your red button. Don't make me get him off the golf course, because you know what's going to happen. So Trump could have a wonderful life and still keep his fingers on the pulse of what's going on. So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and put Obama on the ticket with a loophole that, yeah, he can be vice president. That would be funny. And then I see a lot of stuff about the Young Turks putting up Michelle's polling data and people still floating Michelle. And my thoughts on that. Trump will figuratively, now I'm not talking literal, figuratively smack her wig off her head and expose this whole business that, you know what I'm talking about. He won't have any compunction about doing it, and somebody needs to. If she rears her, yes, ugly head. Hi, Christina. How you doing? So, anyway, Joe, he had to put the word bleach in there, bring up that hoax. I saw somebody bring that hoax up yesterday evening. I was watching a replay chats on somebody's program I watch, as is my want, every now and then. And somebody put a comment in there about, oh, don't forget to get your bleach shot. You know, and I don't respond to stuff like that, but it shows you how these morons, if somebody ever did throw that in my face, I would just tell them, look, you're like a 12-year-old. If you don't know Trump never said that, I'm telling you as a fact to your face, he never said that. And you repeating those childish lies makes you look like a horse's ass. Okay? I don't mean to be negative towards you, but I'm just telling you how you look when you repeat lies, because it's patterns of deceit. They establish a narrative, as many times I've shown Nancy Pelosi wrap up smears. That's one of their tactics. And she said, it's a tactic. It's a tactic. Yeah, well, we're on to their tactics. And people that want to carry those tactics on need to be set straight, you know? And if they don't want to hear what I have to say, they don't have to talk to me. They don't have to throw that bunch of garbage in my face. Yeah, the golf cart video. How you doing, Jeanette? Yeah, he yeah, he had a few things to say about Kamala, and he said Joe was an old pile of crap. I kicked that old pile of crap. So let's see what's going on with this thing with Laura Loomer. Has anybody got access to the truth? And then the other word is social, because that's where I look to see if she posted it. And let me see if I've got screenshot of that. What in the world? Let me see if I might have to go out of the studio to get that screenshot. Because I'm pretty sure Monica Crowley also said the same thing. So let me go. Ooh, I don't know if I can do this or not without, if I drop off, I shall return. So let me know. Whoa. Let me know if I drop off or not, okay? I'm going to keep talking, so we'll see how my talking is doing. And I'm talking, and hopefully you all will hear me while I look up the initial report from Laura Loomer and Monica Crowley. Yeah, it was Monica Crowley who, there we go. I got a screen grab of it. So I will dip back into the studio and see if I'm still with you all. Did I drop off, folks? Were you able to hear me as I was musing to myself? Yeah, good. 5x5, Ravenwing says. Aha, Diane had a... Melissa said it's not always nice. Hi, Melissa. Well, it's a little bit of a pain in the backside sometimes. But Laura Loomer has an account there, as does the Biden team. There are a bunch of lunatics. Let's see. I thought he said AOL. Ivan, how you doing? Yeah, it feels good to be on the right side. Oh, man. What a bunch of losers. How do they go to bed at night? Monica Crowley says, breaking, Biden is reportedly having a medical emergency on Air Force One. That raises a lot of questions. Joe Biden, this is Laura Loomer. Joe Biden is reportedly having a medical emergency in Air Force One right now. This is Twitter. Press access has been removed. So they don't have the time on that tweet, but it was about a half hour before I went live. And then she put a second tweet out that says, Poole did not see president when the motorcade arrived outside of Joe Biden's house. So where is he? And why were reporters who were set to travel with Biden on Air Force One today told they couldn't do so abruptly? So I don't know if the press pool was, hey, I remember when Trump first got elected president. Let me see how good y'all's memory banks are. Remember when Trump got first elected and he went into an anteroom to have dinner with his family and the press was excluded? They weren't even told where he went. And he stayed about an hour with his family for a quiet dinner. And the newspapers were full of how he was not transparent, how he ditched news coverage, and how traditionally everybody's supposed to be in the press is supposed to be informed of the president's whereabouts at all times. Blah, blah, blah. That was back in 2016 when he was president-elect. They had a hissy fit. So did they kick him off of Air Force One? Because the press pool has their own cabin, their own seating area that they're air quotes entitled to. Just like they have their own press room in the White House that Trump can't kick people out of and keep people out of. That is handled by some kind of rules where they vote their own cohorts or fellow reporters. They have some kind of pecking order where people can sit. who gets to ask questions. Of course, Peter Ducey's way high on that list. They wish they could get him out of there, but no, they have their own press briefing room in the White House that Trump can't control, or any president can't control. So with Air Force One, you'd imagine that since they're entitled to all this up close and personal coverage, of course they can't be sitting in his lap, but for him to be without press on Air Force One would be, under normal circumstances, a great big story. Hi, Julie. Yeah, the Biden camp can bury the story, but not without the media's help. That's what I'm saying, because the press pool should, by all rights, be having a fit about being not allowed access. Hi, Ronald. Use a 0 next time, Ronald, on that SH word OT. Use a 0. Even though we know Mr. T said that a long time ago he was shot. Hi, Tuco. How you doing? Welcome aboard. Well, I don't wish anything ill on him, all in good time. All in good time. You know who works in mysterious ways. And he might want him around for a while. Oh, they showed him getting off a plane, but I wouldn't put it being. That's right. They probably got a double. Yeah. Well, yeah. They've been using one since probably when he was vice president. His brain's been gone for a long time. And the media is trying to pretend like they're shocked, they're surprised, they can't believe it. BS, Trump was calling it out way back in 2018, 2019, that his brain was gone. In his farewell address at what was it, the Alamo? The town, not the actual Alamo, but after he had left the White House, he said that 25th Amendment was a bigger threat for Joe than him. And he said many times he doesn't know where he is or what he's doing. He's been saying that for years. So have we. I've got memes that are 4 years old, 5 years old, of Joe Biden in diapers, okay, or being led around old folks' home and all that kind of stuff. So we've known it for years. So for the media to continue this BS lie, but Orange Joe, that's what I called him during the debate. And I noticed their camera filters. I discussed that the other night too. Patterns of deceit, where they take and change the hue whenever they have Trump on camera, whenever they're showing at a rally, whenever they're showing his tapes of his interviews. They change the tint or whatever they do in videos to the point where sometimes Trump actually has white lips that are prominent, and his color's been changed so much. Well, they toned it down for Biden. He still had some of that orange on him, though. So he said, well, he lied 28 times. With some other bunch was saying Trump lied 30 sometimes. He lied every 90 seconds. No. So same rehearsed talking points. I'm just looking at the chats. Yeah, Mr. D challenged him to another debate, and Biden said he would do it. But Stephanopoulos tried to corner Biden on taking an actual cognitive test. And Biden, it was probably the only thing where he had to exercise his mind to dodge the question, which means no, he's not going to do it. But he's been dodging questions his whole life, so that doesn't speak anything to his mental agility. It's just a learned behavior. But did you see some of the commentary afterwards? Immediately afterwards. And remember, this is ABC now. And they're putting up a reporter, the one I was watching, what was her name? Juju? I don't know what her last name is, but first name was Juju. And she has another reporter come up. And she said, well, what did you think? And believe me, these reporters, starting with a news agency, are not going to go up and say squat about Biden without getting approval from higher ups. And they all have integrated, shared, immediate talking points that get spread around. All right. It's usually at 4 a.m. That's why they all sound like mockingbirds, every single one of them. Even your local affiliates have the exact same words. But this one they were doing on the fly. So this young lady gets up there and keep in mind, she, wants to keep her job. And she's not saying her thoughts. She's coming in with the talking points that are being handed out, not just to her, not just at ABC, but Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, all of them are going to be DNC, all of them going to be saying the same damn things. One of the first words out of her mouth was prolonging the inevitable. I was going to put that in my title. Then medical emergency came up. I don't know. What do you think? Prolonging the inevitable or medical emergency? I don't know. She said the debate was not great. And that the campaign, was told by several leaders of the party that the campaign was essentially dead. And as a response to that, Juju said, oh, he's definitely taking friendly fire. Joe was taking friendly fire. So all those talking points have been established and handed out and proved by the puppet masters. The cabal with a C, not a K. Okay? Criminal cabal. No religions involved. Actually, their problem is a lack of religion. Yeah, Tuco, I tell you, welcome aboard. I hope you subscribe. And by the way, folks, if you think about it, give me a thumbs up. It helps the video get around. But I'll tell you, to new people to this channel, enjoy yourself with my past videos. Go down and play them. I've got over 300 here, and then my first channel that got taken down is preserved on Mountain Man Speaks on Bumble. I've got over 600 videos. You want to reinforce what you already know and maybe learn quite a bit. The nut house is open for business, Tracy says. Well, they're always open. Oh, yeah, television shows. This is a battle, epic battle. I mean, this is a battle of life and the opposite, okay? DEA, okay, TH. And it's not a game. It's a show, but it's not a game. Trump has used the phraseology, and I'll take a chance of saying it one time. Please misspell it in the chats, these types of words. But he said this is a deadly serious game. Around the same time he said he was a wartime president and we are at war. The old bag. You got the old bag. We got to misspell words like DEAD and like I just did with DEATH, right? And SHOT, SHOOT, stuff like that. We got to misspell them because of the trust and safety for the platform we're on. But anyway, welcome aboard, the old bag. He probably is, and they probably got, we know he's got one double. But when he actually, and Trump verified it and the Italian media verified it, he blew his bowels when he went to visit the Pope, okay, a couple of years back. That was a fact. Maybe the actor that's wearing a rubber mask, you know, he's no spring chicken. Maybe he's got, you know, something going on, something loose. But anyway, one of the last things that young lady said in the follow-up discussion about Joe's performance was that he did not quell the panic. They used the word panic. So there's some keywords to pay attention to that's popping out. But Joe wanted to use his keywords, pathological liar, called him a congenital liar. Let's see how many times you all remember that term. And it was outraged the first time it was used. It's a mountain man quiz for people who've been watching the news, paying attention to the news. A very famous reporter did an op-ed where they called a politician a congenital liar. The first time that was ever seen in reference to a prominent politician by a prominent journalist, and it sparked outrage. And I haven't heard it since. So it's a little mountain man quiz, and no goggling. For new people, we don't goggle on mountain man quizzes. That is cheating. So if you did goggle it and put up the answer, you're a cheater. Don't be like a Democrat. Hi, Larry. How you doing? Ha ha ha. Yeah. Subscribe. There you go. Television shows. Where'd it go? The old bag. Ha ha. Here. There you see it. Television shows put up. Use a 4 for A. Look how television shows put it in there. DE4D. DE4TH. Hi, M. McCarthy. We don't know. They don't care about campaign finance rules. Ms. McCarthy, they do not care. I'm sure they're required to do some things, but Joe's got to sign off on it. And Joe's not, you know, he's not so far gone, especially with Jill at his elbow, that he's going to relinquish control and power. If he does step down, he's going to make sure he's going to influence things, or Jill and Hunter, don't forget that. He wants his pardon, or he may very well be guiding the situation, just like leaving that laptop I consider to be on purpose. So Even if they broke campaign finance laws, they don't care. But it is a card the Biden camp can play. And they're going to start attacking each other. They're doing it already. You see Jake Tapper. I've got a video clip of him where he's just basically saying, people are being disingenuous and dishonest. You never hear a CNN reporter saying that to the members of the cabal. And there was a press release where the Biden camp said they were blaming a lot of the negative polling information on the press. So you're seeing backbiting with the press toward Biden, and now Biden back toward the press. And another thing, when Joe was on that tarmac and gave a little mini press conference, he said something interesting. They want him to step down. He said, they want me to step down. Who is he talking about? He's only got a 38-point approval rating. He said, not according to my polls. But so, did you hear him say claim that Trump was shouting at him? He sprinkled in there, I don't know why. I just had a bad night. I don't know why. And, the mics were off. Trump was still shouting at me. And Slopinopoulos, to whatever little credit you can give that thing, said, no, well, at the beginning, you kind of struggled before he said anything. And, boy, I would really like to see the unedited version of that. And we may get to, I don't know. But they put him up to, they didn't totally hang him out to dry. They pitched him softballs to where he could appear like an overworked victim. People that didn't appreciate or understand all the strides his administration has achieved. So they weren't really trying to set him up. They were walking a fine line. I wonder how hard it would be to find that video of Nancy cutting across the steps of the Capitol. Now, where was she? When Joe was going to take his first physical, when he first was elected. And Nancy was wishing him well, seeing him off. And then she turned around and said to one of her aides, he's not going to pass. Remember that, folks? The old bag, you got to use a 4 with your wordy dirds for your A's. But anyway, I don't see any responses, but one more time, I'll toss it out there in case any new people joined the live stream before I ask the Mountain Man quiz question. What was a situation where a prominent journalist accused a prominent government official or politician of being a congenital liar? It was the first time that term was used, and it sparked outrage. Congenital liar means from birth. You are born a liar. And there were editorials done on it. For shame on that reporter for using that kind of terminology. I haven't heard it since until tonight when, I'll tell you who influenced him to do it. But He called him Biden called Trump a pathological liar. And then a couple of breaths later, he said congenital liar. Roland said Hillary said that. No, she didn't. But I will give you a Cupid doll because it was said about Hillary. So we'll see if anybody gets the scenario of very famous reporter. We hear you, the old bag. You don't got to type in caps. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. We hear you. Because the algorithm, and it is so aggravating and frustrating. You know, you go on some of these big channels, people put in whatever they want. They put in all caps. They put in wordy-dirds. They put in a lot of emojis. They use words that are supposed to be flagged by trust and safety for utensil, and nobody says nothing. But for some little channel like me, they zero in on me, you know. So they take all caps all the time to be shouting. So and when you use words that are racy or anything like that, just use a number for vowel. So that's right. I've done that too, old bag, when I didn't have my spectacles on. Hi, Rick. How you doing? I used to have to put people's contacts in my phone in caps, or when somebody called me, I couldn't read the name. Garrett, we're hearing that it is false. I will read some of the reports in a second that came out after Laura Loomer reported the medical situation. So anyway, it was William Safire wrote an editorial. It was either in the New York Times or the Washington Post, and it was a very prominent article, and he called Hillary Rodham, roadkill, Clinton, a congenital liar. And this was probably, oh my gosh, 20 years ago, and it caused such outrage. You look at what they call Trump now, and none of them bat an eye, and they all try to think even other slanders and libels to say about him. And they were saying William Safire should be ashamed of himself, and William Safire should be sanctioned by the journalist club or whatever. They should rebuke him for using such terms as a liar from birth. So that's when it was. Do you all remember that now? William Safire said that about Hillary Rodham Clinton in an editorial. I was saying it earlier, Garrett, that patterns of deceit, there's many patterns of deceit. And she could have had somebody worm their way into her camp to give her bad information to make her look like a kook. Let's see, Carol Dupre put out, what are you hearing about Biden having a need for medical attention on Air Force One? This was peppered in with Chrissy Ogan Twitter feed. She said, since his staff said that he functions best between 10 and 4, he doesn't actually function well after 4. And she was wondering what time the interview was. So let's see, a group chimed in. Wow, I might have to go back out of the studio. Let me read this article real quick. Disavowing Laura Loomer's story. Far-right internet personality Laura Loomer claimed that in a post on X that President Joe Biden suffered a medical emergency on board Air Force One on a flight to Delaware. The post started going viral on social media, with even Elon Musk reacting to it. Now, I don't know if it's been pulled down or if it's still up. I don't know, but Elon even spotted it. These reports are false, as Biden has landed in Delaware after a trip from Madison, Wisconsin, following a campaign event, per Forbes magazine. BNO News, I don't know who that is, reported that the White House has confirmed that reports about a medical emergency are 100% false. And then there's another tweet below that from Raw News that says, breaking, there's no emergency on Air Force One, no medical emergency on Air Force One, despite reports. So I don't know who what was that? BNO News? What was that called? Yeah, BNO News. I don't know who the hell they are. And Forbes was reporting what BNO News said. That wasn't a report from Forbes. So it's hard to say. And like has been expressed in the chats, Biden has doubles. The key is what happened to the press. All right? Were they kept away from Biden or kept off Air Force One entirely? That would be humongous news. That is the key. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that happening in an airplane? You know how airplanes are, all the air gets circled all through the cabins. It's like, wow, Joe has a blowout in his drawers and you're 30 feet away in another cabin and all of a sudden it starts coming through the air vent. Wow. Garrett says X hasn't taken it down yet. Television shows talks about congenital liar, and JFK Jr. was going to run against her, and he had a plane crash, is what they say. After she was called a congenital liar? I don't know. All I know is Kamala and Joe, if their time is up, they better watch out, or they better get marching orders and march. That's all I can say. Get your marching orders and start marching. Because I don't care how many contacts you think you have. The cabal, you're just a throwaway, Joe. And Kamala, you better believe you're a throwaway. No press allowed because he stunk up Air Force One. May have happened. That might be why they cut the interview short. I mean, you look at that last part of that interview, and it just ends with a stupid statement by Biden, like, "Oh, you really think so?" Or something, something stupid. No, well, I appreciate you coming here, and I hope, wish you luck in the future, President Biden. Nothing like that. It just ended with him with a goofy smile and a goofy statement. So maybe he lost his bowels. He wouldn't even know it. And I'm not making fun of him. I mean, as I've expressed many times in the past, I've had friends of mine unfortunately end up in nursing homes, friends and loved ones. And there are people with that condition that, something happens, they don't even know it. Hi, Tara. How are you doing? Now, I think that's more of the case, what you all are talking about. I think he had an accident in his pants, and they got everybody away from it. But just remember, the nose knows. And given the current posture of the relationship between Joe and the press, if something untoward happened, whether it's his health, heart palpitations or whatever, or if he had another accident, it will get out. Well, Kim, his brains are gone. They've been gone. Yeah, Roland, MS. Yeah, that's cruel illness. Yeah, ho, ho, ho. So, while this stuff is going on, we've got our Eastern news services reporting how much trouble Biden is in, and you have people that will talk to a foreign reporter quicker than they will the mainstream American media. But the Democratic Party top donors believe that Biden's candidacy is doomed, writes the Financial Times. Quote, I'm Joe's biggest fan. He's a worthy public service, but he's doomed. We need to start focusing all our attention on what comes next, one donor close to the president told the publication. Sponsors are nominating Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitman and California Governor Newsom. Okay. And I got a picture of those two together going to see Biden. And believe me, in their brains, they think they're a presidential dream team. Gretchen Whitmer and Newsom. Kamala Harris's name also appears. Whitmer has the most support, according to the Financial Times. Donors believe that Biden is simply postponing the issue of choosing a successor, but it is inevitable. Biden, meanwhile, says he has no intention of withdrawing from the election. Yeah, we know about that. So that's already going all around the world. Yeah, that's a dream team, all right. Well, what came out of Ruski land is a report about the F-16s being transferred to Ukraine. Is a report from the Telegraph says that these F-16s may be destroyed as soon as they arrive. Quote, as the missile campaign continues and the toll amounts, and you know what kind of toll I mean, 4 or 5 planes were destroyed in 72 hours. It becomes increasingly clear that only one thing can save what remains of Ukraine's air power: more Western-made air defenses. the article says. So that would be the hint of Patriot missile systems. Hi, Karen. Tara's from Montana. Yeah, two of the worst run states. And they think they're heroes. And they think they actually got a shot at the presidency. And I want to tell you something to think about, folks. I was going to bring this up earlier in the broadcast. To keep in mind as you watch the reporting and you watch the description of events and the people that they put up, they don't care. And by they, I mean the media, the Democrat Party, okay, and the cabal. They're all worms in a clump of dirt. They're all the same thing. They don't care about who can win. That is very important. That one word, can. They don't care who can win. They care about who's believable. What polls would show people would believe that they could have won, because they can't win. But if they can make people believe, look how many of your friends and relatives actually believe that Joe Biden got 81 million votes. As long as it's believable, they don't give a damn. So that's what they're trying to flesh out right now. They brought out Newsom, and they brought him all the way across country to debate Ron DeSantis, seeing if that was getting any traction, because no matter what they say, we know they all knew way back then and way before that Joe Biden was non compos mentis, and he would have to be replaced. I talked about how Joe Biden at the Democrat debate said he was only going to serve one term. He was a transitionatory president. That's what he said he was going to be himself 4 years ago. So Newsom didn't get any traction, didn't have name recognition across the country for the average Joe and Jane. So it wouldn't have been believable. So now they're floating these trial balloons who might be believable, because they're going to try to steal it. We know that. Mr. T said it many, many times, and we know it also. They have no other choice. They can't just say, oh my gosh, you guys did so good, and so many votes, and maybe we ought to rethink our policies and we'll work with you for the good of the country. No, they're vicious, and they're pulling out every lie, every exaggeration. And what burns me up, people that I know are smart, repeating the bleach crap, repeating the Russia crap, repeating the fine people on both sides crap, name it. And they know, I know, they're not that stupid. They're repeating slander and repeating lies. You're just as bad as the liar who started it. And that's what, people that have been duped, have been fooled, have been abused psychologically, and they don't even know it, through a drumbeat of mainstream media lies. I can understand that. And generally, when they're shown the truth, those people will reconsider. But the ones who knew it was horse hockey from the beginning and continue, makes me wonder, where's the value in having them as friends if that's their moral compass. is to aid and abet a libel and continue to divide this country. How many of you all out there have friends and neighbors and relatives that are smart people repeating shameful narratives? I don't know, Garrett, if she would have checked. Like I said, she gets somebody in her camp that ingratiates themselves, earns trust, namely an operative. But I lean toward that she probably has something there. And she's probably right that the press was kept away from Joe, whether it was medical or bodily function, malfunction. I weighs heavily towards Laura Loomer is reporting something happened. And she's just putting it out there. So we'll see, because they're not going to be able to keep their mouth shut. They've been given a little extra length on their leash, the fake news. They've been given permission to attack and confront the administration and Joe Biden personally. They've been given permission by the evil ones, okay? So if something like that happened, they probably still got to get permission to talk about it, but they'll still talk. Biden's staff, Angela says, Biden's staff just canceled his July fundraiser and his campaign event in Wisconsin. Well, he had one today, didn't he, Angela? In Wisconsin, did he have another event scheduled for the weekend? Yeah, he was going to campaign through the weekend, wasn't he? Claimed he was. He told George Stephanopoulos, look what I've done since the debate. I've been to 10 big events. And that's when he made the laughable claim, nobody brings a crowd in like I do. Did you see how big my crowd was? But out of these 10 events, he's on video. On a radio interview, he said he was the first black woman. He was a black woman vice president. He got scrambled up where he wanted to say he served with the first black president and helped appoint the first female black Supreme Court justice. And he ended up calling himself a black woman on a radio interview. It's being played all over the place. And then the little tete-a-tete he had in the White House lawn where he was saying, well, they tell me the roads are closed. That means I'm going to lose the election, so I got to go. But have you noticed how all the roads, there's no congestion anymore? There's no traffic jams anymore? And people are looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about? He didn't know what he's talking about. He was having a flight of fancy. But somebody in his earpiece was giving a code word to wrap it up and get out of there, saying the roads are closed. Roads are closed. We go, we got really good traffic nowadays. And Stephanopoulos knows that. I tell you, I saw something funny. that Midas Trash Network. I got some pictures of outrageous thumbnails those morons have put up. I don't click on any of their videos, give them any views. I don't put any comments in their chats. I just let their own ridiculous thumbnails give them away. One of them they put out 4 a.m. and a picture of Trump when he was, either mad or sweaty from playing golf. Or they never put up a normal picture of him. They said, 4 a.m., are you kidding? There's something wrong with this person, talking about Trump. And what they were mad about was Trump had a tweet go out at 4 a.m. And I said this last week. I said, Trump, you know that these people in the cabal watch every word he puts out. They've read and reread every post by our favorite letter, okay? 1 and then 7. Trump doesn't do his own tweets. He's got staff for that. But they know, they keep them on their toes. A truth can come out any time of the day or night, in wee hours of the morning, and they've got to monitor them. And wait, I'll show you the thumbnail when I do a picture show. They're mad. It's like, oh, this crazy person putting out a truth at 4 a.m. We'll get used to it, okay? Get used to 5 a.m. Get used to 3 a.m. or 2:27. All right, or 4:45. Maybe 6 or 7 of them that you all have got to rub the chicken poop out of your corners of your eye and read and figure out. Because Trump, his staff will put out something provocative and put it on a timer. Everybody goes to bed, 4 o'clock in the morning, the timer goes off, the truth goes out. You guys are jumping up to see what it is. Our folks are sleeping snugly, okay? Because that's what happens when you've been breaking the law, when you've been caught, when you're getting ready to get thrown out, fired, discredited, and sued for slander and libel. And some of you all charged with subversion, okay, and defrauding the American people. You better jump up and read those truths right when they come out. So I think it's great. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Why would they choose Laura Loomer to post that? I don't know. They may have approached other people. Monica Crowley also posted that on her Twitter. So maybe it wasn't just Laura Loomer. Maybe they approached other people who did not post it. We're trying to find out more. But Monica Crowley put it up, and Laura Loomer. You might want to check Monica Crowley's Twitter account. But why would Joe cancel his event? Because he told Slopanopoulos, watch me, I've got these events planned. I raised $13 million or $31 million in 42 seconds, and I had dozens of hundreds of people and 20 or 30 whatever. But why would they cancel the campaign event when he just finished telling not just America, but the entire world, watch me work and watch what Trump is going to have to face when I get a hold of him. He's going to have to answer for the way he behaves. Got the morals of alley cat. Somebody, if there was something happening on Air Force One, somebody's going to chit chat about it. Somebody's gonna gossip about it. And let me tell you something. It's getting to the point where scoop equals money. Scoops equal money. So if somebody was to say to a friendly publication, I know for a fact you put me down as an undisclosed source, and I'll tell you on the record that Joe Biden blew his bowels, and everybody had to hold their nose and run to the back of the plane. But I'm an undisclosed source. Now write me a check. Hey, so what they were doing with the Inquirer was buying stories to keep them quiet. Maybe the Biden campaign will cut somebody a check to keep them quiet. Don't you say anything about that big brown streak running down Joe's leg. Ha ha, yes I did, Angela. That's the second time he's used parts unknown. And I said, those people ain't coming from my parts unknown. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, maybe that's true, Tuco, because she's been such a live wire. But I don't know where anybody could say, maybe they can. Maybe it's something I'm not familiar with. But I don't know anything where Laura Loomer's been shot down. I don't remember her getting discredited or her stories pulled or retractions, or everybody makes mistakes, but she's not known for it. I may have a secret fan. Oh, there's been a lot of stuff I put in. I talked about post number 11, Angela, and everybody in the chats. I read post number 11 from our favorite letter. And 2 days later, it was the first time he reposted an actual drop from and I'll say it one time, the Q board. First time was 2 days after I read it live on the air with a picture of the post on my screen. 2 days later, first time he ever did it. Ever put an actual post up. And that's the truth. Oh, George reported that about Biden canceling. Yeah, he's pretty reliable too. People want to get up and run with stuff. Like this, I was talking about Midas Trash Network. They posted this yesterday. How ridiculous is this? Midas Trash Network, Trump's performance at the debate, quote, demonstrated once again he is a danger to democracy and unfit for office, unquote, writes the Philadelphia Inquirer editorial board. And below that, I'll save it so I can show it on a picture show. There's a photograph of Trump and the opinion page of the Philadelphia Inquirer that says, to serve his country, Donald Trump should leave the race. Biden had a horrible night Thursday, but the debate is misplaced. The only person who should withdraw from the race is Trump. Trump's performance demonstrated once again that he is a danger to democracy and unfit for office. Somebody named Gerald Herbert, I guess. So Laura Loomer ain't never put anything that dizzy in for publication. That's right. Communists have democracies. We are a democratic constitutional republic. We have democracy, but in the form of a constitutional republic. That's correct, Tuco. Justice Department plans to pursue Trump cases past Election Day, even if he wins. This is a headline with the Washington Post. If Donald Trump is elected president, the finish line for prosecutors is Inauguration Day, not Election Day. People familiar with the discussion said. And I got another article I don't want to dig through studio too deep, but said they're looking for, Jack Smith is looking for a mini trial to be all wrapped up before Inauguration Day. But MSNBC reports that this Stormy, remember her? She met with, who did she meet with for a fundraiser? Might be in this article. They raised hundreds of thousands. Exclusive. Rachel Madcow talks with Stormy in her first TV interview since testifying against Donald Trump. She described the price she paid for standing up for former president and details what life has been like. She's getting paid for that interview. But she's opening up a GoFundMe, and she's going around with, I can't remember the star's name. There is a star. Somebody is helping her fundraise. But what they don't mention is she's at a point with this litigation with Trump. She has no more appeals, no more excuses. She owes him $600,000 plus interest, whatever's accrued since the last calculation. And she's got to start paying, or they're going to be moving on what little bit of crap she's got. Freezer accounts and all that kind of stuff. And these people, they're not being told that. They're just saying, oh, we want to help Stormy because she doesn't like Trump. And they're pissing their money away. It's going to go right to Trump. Ha, 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 ha. I think it's great. Oh, yeah, I know, Angela. I know. I've mentioned George before, and Frank from NPC here. Frank had a little story about how the big name people, Roths, and then the other half is Child. Those people. See how I break the name up? Because I know that'll do something. The big people from the Roths and then Child family has said Joe's done. Now, I don't know how real those reports are, but I don't even think Joe's stupid enough to try to resist that kind of pushback. I'll put it that way. Because you know what they'll do to him. And Ronnie Jackson put out a tweet today. And Ronnie Jackson is, or was, President Trump's physician. And it's going around. When I was President Trump's White House physician, capital letters, always was available to the press. I stood up at the podium for hours answering questions about Trump's health. Where is Dr. O'Connor? Why has he, capital letters, never done this? Biden's cognitive decline has been, capital letters, covered up for capital letters years. The truth is finally getting out. Now, why won't that doctor get up for a press conference? Is this going to open the door for people to start demanding to talk to him? Why, if I were the White House physician, would I lie about something as serious as the President of the United States having lost grip on reality? I wouldn't. What are the legal ramifications? What are the ethical ramifications? So he's in hiding. So anyway, Joe was doing his talking points. They were all hammered out. They were practiced during his speech. They were practiced during the tarmac. They were practiced or finally came to fruition, if you can call it that, during the debate. The debate didn't go for an hour. It was delayed a half an hour. When it was finally put out, it was a trimmed up, lousy 20 couple of minutes with an oddball ending. An odd, fast ending. No parting ways, no thank you, hope you do well, none of that. I think they might even had a teleprompter behind Slopanopoulos, to tell you the truth. I wouldn't put it past them. A large widescreen TV behind Slopanopoulos that Biden could read off of. So, but he used that same 28, he lied 28 times, he lied 28 times. He said that over and over, just pounding it in his own brain. And then I would like to see Stephanopoulos' face when he asked Joe, "Did you watch your debate performance?" And Joe said, I don't remember. You don't remember? He actually said he doesn't remember if he watched his own debate performance. And that's how he started off the interview with George Slopanopoulos. So anyway, if things get wild, I'll go live tomorrow night. We'll see if we hear any more news whispers or stories about what happened on Air Force One. The diaper flight, was it a diaper flight or a medical event? We don't know. We'll see what the secret wasn't very well kept with the Italian press. The Italian press was like, you wouldn't believe it. He had to change his pants. It was so bad, they had to go get a different pair of pants. Ha, ha, ha. So we'll see if that's the case here. Oh, my gosh. Well, like Trump said, he had negotiated a new Air Force One. I hope this isn't a very brand new one that Joe's in there going to the bathroom on and everything. But the whole thing's going to have to be exercised by a priest or several priests, probably a couple of cardinals. Well, probably every archbishop that doesn't get excommunicated have to go down to D.C. and had the fire department standing by and do an exorcism of the whole city. Oh, he's flying the old one. That's what I thought. Because Trump tells a story about how he negotiated a real good price for the new Air Force One. And I think they switched it out when Obama was in his second year of his first term, I think. So now they're getting a new one. And, yeah, take that thing and scrap it, or I don't know what they'll do with it. Gut the furniture and use it as a doomsday plane because it's pretty high tech. Yeah, the old bag, the crack house. Yeah, they had a felon in the White House the other day. He's living there. The real felon, Hunter. Yeah, that's right. It was not a live interview. It was a taped interview, all butchered up. And they didn't even, that's why I'm thinking Joe had a problem at the end of the interview. They couldn't even do a normal parting of ways or normal end to the interview with a polite statement or comment to back and forth, It just stopped. So I think something happened. And that's why the press was kept away from him on the Air Force One, because he stunk to high heaven. I think the event might have happened during the interview. That's just my suppositions from watching. We've all watched interviews with prominent people, politicians, presidents, Obama, Trump, on and on. We know how they end. They end with polite exchanges, not an abrupt end. This was an abrupt end, and the next thing you know, nobody's allowed near Biden, according to Laura Loomer, from the press pool. They're kept away from him. That says to me something happened. That's why it got cut short. If we get what Trump wants, the whole interview, he wants it all. Boy, wouldn't that be something. But we don't want to beat a dead horse. We don't want to be in a situation where they say, we were doing great until Joe Biden got sick. Up until that point. No. The policies, okay? The policies. Like I said last year, this year, many times, it doesn't matter if it's Joe, it doesn't matter if it's Kamala, it doesn't matter who the hell it is. It's what the puppet masters want is what's going to happen. Because Joe's not running the show anyway. I've been saying that for months and years. So what the American people need to understand, it's not because Joe's brain finally is hard to hide. It's that their policies are a disaster for this country. That's what we got to keep focused. All right. Oh, okay. Sissy's here, going to bed. All right, folks. Well, I've been up for over an hour and a half. I appreciate everybody who's giving me a thumbs up tonight, and anybody that didn't like my broadcast, give me a thumbs down. Or something like that. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And you can be part of the chats or just watch the chats go by. That's up to you. And if there's someone out there with an opposing notion of things, come on in. We're going to treat you good. We're not going to be nasty or mean to you. And I want to thank Lone Wolf for helping sponsor last night's program through Buy Me a Coffee, and Mike and Bev also for helping out last night. And Hilarious too came through after hours and helped out. And I want to thank you, Hilarious too. Angela's helped out. Gary's helped out. Tennessee's helped out through the week. I appreciate it. And Todd, I hadn't seen him in a while, but a lot of you all have helped out. Miss Mindersue and a lot of people. So anyway, the old bag subscribed. Hey, that's great. Well, you still can use caps, but just not all the time, because it causes a little flurry of, what do they call it? A little fluster, a little flutter in the rhythm. I'm getting like Joe. I can't pick the right word. Flutter, fluster. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And like I said, if we hear something big, something, if not, I'll either be up Sunday or Monday. But like I said, if you're subscribed, you'll know. Make sure you hit that notification bell. So you all have a great evening. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.